Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my land. I do what I do for you today. Oh, I got a nice listen. Calm down, relax. Right as a 25 rule to live by, storytelling, story with a message is story for life. I get a little excited every now and then. So I gotta calm myself down. The life lesson I'm giving, you tune in and receiving it. The number says you like them, so you got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinking mission, and I'm on it. You know the deal. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to do just that. Know thyself. And with the lessons I give you, I can make that possible by doing that for you. All you gotta do is tune in and implement them, and you'll see for yourself. That way you'll know thyself. That's the goal for right thinkers. Let's rock. Do you know you? Do you know yourself? If not, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not, it knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do. What I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. Appreciate you too. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. I can awaken them spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right think and know thyself. And to my eye, be true. Today, when I put this lesson together, it was entitled Right Thinkers, Let's Talk About Your Memory is the Heart of Your Consciousness. That's the truth. That's the part. But after I did the lesson, I did some studying, background checking, just to fact check some of my stuff, and I got a whole other perspective. So the lesson, I'm gonna try to amp it up with the newfound information I got, kicking in with the old. So different perspective. I'm trying to put them two together. I didn't have it when I put the lesson together, but this is homework. I got some more information, so I'm gonna slide it in there as I can. Now the title is Right Thing. Let's talk about your ego is your memory. Different perspective, hit me like a left hook. I like that idea. So let me try to break it down for you. Your memory is the heart of your consciousness. Okay. The ability to remember is an art, a craft that you should really master for yourself. Why? When you want to stroll down memory lane, the better memory recall you have, the better the stroll to be. Why to be? Sometimes we stroll and because you got bad memory and you don't really focus, it ain't as good as it should be. Okay, so that's what we fall short at. So let's work on the concept. Now we have two hemispheres to our brain, left and the right. The right side control the left side of the body. The right side control the right side of the body. Left side is massive. Right side, all that back. Yeah. That just goes back to duality, even in the brain. But what's in that brain that separates it? It's called the pineal gland. Everybody talking about it now. I've been telling you about the pineal gland 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's becoming relevant, which I ain't got a problem with. Consciousness. Again, another relevant word that wasn't used a while ago. I feel like Little Richard. Let me get out that. Listen. All right, but let's talk about it. We have two sides, two hemispheres of the brain. Male, female, masculine, feminine, yada, yada, emotional. But it's all based on duality, opposite pairs of opposite, equal opposites to make a whole. If you're one in the brain, if you're using the right side of your brain, that's only half of your capacity to function. If you're using the left side, it's the same thing. You want to have balance, equilibrium, meaning both sides of your brain. Simple as that. Take both sides. Understand. Be flexible. open your brain, be able to expand. The universe is constantly expanding, so your brain constantly should be expanded with what? Information, knowledge, and stuff that can help it. That's what it does. That's all it does. Take in information and calculate, compartmentalize it, but give it something to do. A lot of us just, what you doing? No, your brain ain't doing nothing. Yeah. Okay, what happens? Dementia sets in, Alzheimer's, when you can't recall. Again, memory loss. Let's go. Your ego is what drives the memory. I found that out. If you use more than, excuse me, if you use one more than, if you use one more than the other, you will be unbalanced with the brain concept. If you're thinking left brain, thinking right brain, you're out of balance. Equal balance. That's what my act represents. And this is the conscious concept. We have consciousness. Okay, consciousness, you got subconscious. They have their own functions. The subconscious on his job. Why? Because when you're unconscious, when you're in a conscious state right now, you're aware of what's going on around you. That's being conscious. Why? You're functioning right now. But when you're not conscious, your body still regulates and functions on its own. That's what the subconscious does. So everything has its own function. Your memory, we call it Tahuti. He's the recorder. He's the recorder. He's the recorder. Sorry about that. Everything has a purpose. And the Egyptians gave you signs. They showed you. They showed. Now you got a bunch of words. I can show you a whole bunch of signs and make a bunch of words mean nothing. Why? Because picture worth 1,000 words. I can say 1,000 words by showing you the picture. That's why I rock the eye. Moving on. Without, watch this. Now, with the ability to remember, to recall an experience that happened already, we have that ability. We also got the ability to project forward. That's imagination. Memory, imagination. Tomorrow, yesterday, now. I give you the sign of the two pyramids with the sun rising. That's the now. We're always living in the now. That's my conscious concept of my calling card. Why I use it. Where is it at? Yeah. Okay. The idea to show you the two pyramids, two hemispheres of the brain. The sun, the pineal gland, it rises every day. It shines. And what? That's all from God. That's a communication device. Sorry about that, but that's my area of expertise that I like to talk about. So when I get to that, I go a little off. So I get back into the lesson. Sorry about that. Now let's deal with the ego, memory, and why it's important to be able to remember. I'm 65 years old. I still remember stuff from 3 or 4 years old. Not everything, but you got that recall. And from there on, I should have experiences that I can recall, go back to and experience for myself and my own mind. A lot of people cannot do that. Why? They didn't pay attention to obviously what's going on in their life. So focus, pay attention. Don't let life pass you by. Every now and then you might want to sit down and it was some good times back there. We did some good stuff. So it wasn't all bad. But when you want to go back and remember this about them times, you got to have memory. You got to have a good recall to make it worthwhile. We live in the present. Again, that's what I'm trying to show you. Present state of mind is what you're doing right now. Not what you did yesterday. Not what you're going to do tomorrow. Right now. That's the now. That's the gift. They call the present. That's a gift. Why? You're living in the moment right now. Understand that and you'll be better for it. Why? That's what it's all about. Having an understanding of what you're doing. We live in what? The present, aka now, not the past, not the future. Again, I do this. I understand this. I'm just trying to teach it to you so it can make sense to you. Hopefully you get the message. Moving on. Your memory, again, my boy, Tahuti, my number one student, my first master right thinker. I take him nicknamed Tahuti. Why? He was a thinker from the time I met him. He was a thinker. So I knew he would be good in recall, remembering, and keeping track. And for 4 years, he kept track. He remembered. Now he's doing his thing. Your memory, aka Tahuti, which is the brain, what? A recorder. The memory of the mind. That's the ego self disguised as what? Tahuti. He know himself. He understands that. But he got one goal. Keep records. Keep records. Why? Because at Judgment Day, that's what he's going to be there for. Everything they lived for was for to get into Judgment Day. They want to be prepared. They wanted to be ready. They was obsessed with death. No, they just knew death was imminent, and they want to be prepared. If you go into something and ain't prepared, you're going to fail in life. If you don't get knowledge of self, if you don't acquire information that will help you make better decisions in life, you're going to fail. Sorry about that. Moving on. Oh yeah, your memory is as good as long as what you're living. At death, the memory has no use. Why? Because they go to the brain, they go to the heart now. The memory is only good for the now, the transmission to keep you going now. After death, it has no use. Why? They take the brain, throw it away, have no use for it. Again, the heart. Now they're telling me that the heart been found out that they be stronger than the brain and the head. Yeah, that's where God dwells. We've been telling you that. Ancient times told you that, so I'm not beat. I'm jumping with that. Oh yeah, great discovery. We've been trying to tell you that for thousands of years. Now, because you figured out through your technology and your experience, oh, that's true. Really? That's like me telling you something. You don't believe me. Then you go out, find that what I told you is true. You come and say, yeah, you was right. I told you so type of dude, but I knew that when I told you. So you're not doing me nothing that I don't already know. Thank you. Appreciate it. But when you find out something that you didn't know, that's learning. That's all it is. I know things I'm telling you is something that you don't know already. So that's why I call teaching, enlightening you. I'm giving you information. Sorry about that. What you do with it is your choice, but I just give it. Moving on. Let me get this thing out the way. I'm getting too preachy now. There we are. The memory, your ego memory is what? Your communication device to what? Your conscious mind. And for the record, keeping it alive. You have an identity. That's the I. That's you. That's the ego. Once it's in. You need to control it or it's going to do what it does. That's what it does. Self-destruct. Okay? It ain't here to help you. In one instance, yeah, if you put in the right context, it will help you. Let it run wild, it will destroy you. That's the concept. Moving on. Same thing that help you will kill you. That thing between them girls' legs, at one time it gave life. Now you get the wrong one, it will kill you. So understand, that's where the game is played. Your memory serves as what? As a teacher of what to do or what not to do, according to what? By experiences. You should have recall of experience when something seems familiar. Deja vu, oh, I've been here before. Something you heard, oh, I've heard this before. That's discernment. That's recognizing something that's real or unreal, knowing the difference between the two. If it seemed like, it sound like, it act like, it is. What's the fight? What's the display? Why are you fighting? What is? Just observe, see what you see, understand what you see, and move on. But I can't believe. That's why you fail. Don't care what you believe. Sorry about that. But we're gonna keep going back to Star Wars reference. Where we at? Okay, how you go? Here you go. Now, your ego memory is connected to the consciousness for a reason. For a reason. Your consciousness is always moving and grooving. The ego want to get on the bandwagon, so to speak. So it jumps in and makes itself known. If you don't put him in the position to do what he do, you're going to have problems with yourself. That's what the ego is. Without memory, personally, the ego, not remembering your own name or anything else. So memory is important. The I is always there. Ain't going nowhere. You can't kill it, can't destroy it. That's crazy. But the idea is to control it. That's part of the personality that you need to really get control of first. That's the number one thing. The ego. Ego have to be conquered. Without memory, how would you know what you did 10 years ago or 2 days ago? That's the memory. And when we got people who you ask them, and they get dementia, they start getting, they just, why? Their brains start to get fuzzy. Why? It ain't being worked. It ain't being exercised like anything else. It's a muscle. It should be kept thought. Cognitive thinking means you're up on it. You're constantly doing things. And that's the ego's job to keep that going. That's what it does. So use it to your benefit without memory. Oh, did that one. Now, memory is how we what? Learn for learn information from your memory. Why? The memory holds ideas or experiences that you already had. If you can't recall what you did last week, you might do it again this week. See? And if it benefits you, you want to remember that. If it didn't, you want to remember that too. Again, you can't get around it. So understand it. It's an important part. If you're experiencing something, watch this, and it goes to your memory, didn't you then, okay, the memory department, which is your conscious mind, meaning it's going to be stored. It's going to be compartmentalized in the mind. That way you can recall it. Like the computer, all you got to do is hit a button, whatever information you got, go get you whatever. I'm learning how to use a computer. It's like a brain because I can think. I can figure some of the stuff out now because I choose to. I used to didn't care. I ain't got time for that. So now that I got to figure it out, it's okay. I can navigate. If you can think, you can learn. Simple. You have memory, you should know good from bad, right from wrong. Moving on. Like them. Yeah, let me do this out of it. Memory. Okay, let's talk about memory. Memory, aka recall of what past experience. Use it or lose it. Again, it's good to sit down and remember and reminisce. It's good to take a stroll down memory lane just to work the memory, just to see if it's see how far back you can go. Take a test, go back as far as you could, and work your way through. That's called recall. That's called memory. Practice, use it. Why? You lose it. If not, if it ain't in use, it has no purpose. Moving on. Memory, ego memory is the key to the consciousness. Your ego memory uh, breaks your God consciousness by what? Remembering and what? Living by past experience or your spiritual disciplines that you remember to implement when you have to. Using something when you have to is the way. Like practicing martial arts, all that you practice. Them to have actually happen, you freeze, you freak out, you panic. So if you don't know how to use it when you need it, what's the purpose of having it? It's like knowing and don't use it. Okay, I know right from wrong. You're still doing wrong. Did you really know right from wrong? If you did the wrong thing, intentionally, willingly, that doesn't make much sense. So memory should take care of the problem. Moving on. The better your memory, here you go, the more you will remember, good or bad. Simple as that. Thinking, excuse me, what is this? Taking trip. Okay, taking trips down memory lane is a good thing. When the older you get, some things tend to just go away. Why? Because you ain't thought about it. You ain't went down and recalled it to bring it to memory so it will stay focused. If you start remembering people, start thinking about them, they will disappear. Eventually, time will on everything. Okay, you go down memory lane. It's a good way to what? Keep your memory sharp. That's all. You can't live there. You can't stay there, but it's a good thing to do. That's all. You can't live in the past, but your past can change your life future. Why? By remembering things that you did wrong and not doing them again. That's the start. Okay. To do something repeatedly over and over again is not smart. A good memory, watch this, is having a clear conscience, understanding the past, and not repeating the negative stuff that you had to pay to do. I ain't trying to do drug dealing again. Why? I ain't trying to get that nonsense. Okay, been there, done that. Moving on. All right. Yeah. Moving down here. A good man. Okay, last one. Conscious memory is what? Knowing thyself, being conscious, not the ego memory. The ego self knows itself, only itself. Being conscious, being God conscious, you know your higher self. That's the name of the game, I think. My memory is pretty good. I have pretty good total recall on my childhood. So why? Because every now and then I go back to revisit just to see what you remember, what you know. And every time you get around your parents or your sisters, brothers, y'all sit down, y'all can have a reminiscence game. That's what it's all about. Okay. My memory keeps me from what? Going back, doing bad things. I remember didn't work out for me. Even the good times. Don't want them either. Why? Because they got to pay for them. My good times was at somebody else's expense. So it wasn't good for somebody else. Maybe good for me. I don't want that. See? Change. I know who I used to be. Again, of course, my memory is clear about that. Being wrong, don't do that again. If it's wrong, put it down, let it go. That's all. If it ain't working, don't do it. Moving on. I use my memory. Why? To keep me doing what? The right thing. knowing right from wrong when daily. It don't stop. It ain't gonna stop. Ego don't stop. Your memory, even the ego part, can be what? Here you go, your worst enemy. If you're egoistic, your memory don't serve no good. Why? Because it's only gonna remember the stuff that drives the ego to keep doing what it's doing. It ain't gonna remember the bad. It'll say, no, don't do that. It's gonna remember all the good stuff to make you feel good about yourself. So if you're ego driven, it's not good for you. Now, if your memory, which can be good or bad, if not controlled, will kill you. Again, it's a detriment to you to have your ego in control of you. Understand that? Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Ego memory, you need to get control to know thyself. That's how you do that. I'll be back. I got more.